We would object, Your Honor, because the House has already performed its constitutional mandate of filing, as brought out by the good Senator. The House has the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. And the House, through that mode of direct filing under subparagraph 4 of Section 3 of Article 11, indeed filed by the vote of almost two-thirds, not only one-third. And the power of impeachment is an emergency power. Where can you find an act of a legislative body that the vote required is the minority, one-third? Because you want to make an officer accountable. So that portion...
I think that's been sufficiently explained. So, that's... Justice Cuevas, my friend, I mean, that is the only question we have now. You're asking the Senate to nullify, in effect, what the House did. It's just...
if we did that, Your Honor, we have predicated our action on the decision of the Supreme Court, Your Honor, that we can raise violation of the impeached public official to due process before the House. And if it is not acted with favor, we can bring it even before the Senate. Well, that is the ruling of the Supreme
yes, but
Court.
In the Davide case, the Davide case never reached the Senate.
No, that is not the Davide case, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Whatever you're referring to.
It's the Francisco case.
Oh, Francisco case. Now, it reached only, it did not get out of the House. So the ruling was still, the Supreme Court made a ruling over a decision or action made by the House. But in this case, the Senate has already acquired jurisdiction.
Precisely, that was the basis of the ruling in that case, that if it is not honored by the House of Representatives, then you can bring it up before the impeachment court, which is the Senate. That's not my pronouncement.
Which is also my question.
That is the pronouncement of the court. And it remains valid, Your Honor, unless modified, reversed, or revoked by the Honorable Supreme Court.
May I, Mr. President? You had Christmas season. You could have brought that to the Supreme Court, just the same as in the Francisco case, before it reached the Supreme Court, or before the Senate, before the Senate acted on it. You know, but the Senate has already acquired jurisdiction. You want
there is no possible time, if Your Honor please, to bring it. It was a blitzkrieg action. If you have gone over our complaint, we delineated very particularly and specifically why we were not able to act one way or the other. It's like being hit by thunder, Your Honor. Wala na.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
At any rate, the chair would like to end this matter and decide it so that we can proceed.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Senator Pimentel and Senator Pangilinan. Senator Pimentel wishes to have the floor. Just
the gentleman for Mr. Oriental.
I will just solicit a fact, Mr. President, which might help you decide the issue, the pending issue. Mr. Counsel, did not Chief Justice Corona file a petition with the Supreme Court? And that petition also questioned or raised the issue of denial of due process?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So you are pursuing that issue before the Supreme Court, and at the same time pursue it before this impeachment court?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
They are predicated, however, on different factuals, Your Honor.
Anyway, that's just a factual, a question of fact, so that the presiding officer will be guided. But just to make it of record, although it has been, it is basic doctrine that it is the Supreme Court which interprets the Constitution, in my opinion, the House and the Senate are not prohibited from interpreting the same Constitution, and especially Article 11 on impeachment, because if you read the sections on impeachment, these are actually directed to the House and to the Senate. Hence, in my humble opinion, the Senate can interpret Article 11 on impeachment, and we will rule on the pending issue given or asserting the Senate's power to interpret the Constitution. Just as the Supreme Court can interpret the Constitution, the Senate, as the impeachment court under Article 11, also has the same right to interpret the same sections in the Constitution.
As of date, I do not find any valid objection to such an interpretation that may be made by this honorable impeachment court, Your Honor.
Anyway, thank you for that additional factual input, Mr. Justice.
Thank you also.
The gentleman from Pampanga, are you raising your hand? You have 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just very quickly, Mr. President, all throughout the 27 days of the trial, we have been focused on the articles of impeachment. Article 1, Article 2, Article 7, and Article 3. And then we have abandoned, or the prosecution has abandoned the other articles of impeachment. With these affirmative defenses being raised, may we know under which article will the evidence presented, to be presented or being asked to be presented, under which article would it fall? Because I ask this, Mr. President, because we have on many occasions prevented the prosecution from presenting evidence precisely because it is not within the ambit or does not fall within any of the articles of impeachment. Therefore, it is immaterial, irrelevant.
That is.
So may we know under which article will these affirmative defenses be? Will it fall under?
That's directed against me, Mr. Senator.
Yes,
thank you,
Justice. Thank
now, it will cover the entirety of the impeachment complaint, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Now the chair will make a ruling. Under the Constitution, the sole power to try and decide all impeachment cases belong to this court. Only this court has the jurisdiction. The Supreme Court has no jurisdiction to try and decide impeachment cases. That's one. Once the articles of impeachment reaches this House, the command of the Constitution is that trial shall forthwith proceed. Due process is not only the sole function of the House of Representatives. Due process is a function of this House that tries and decides all impeachment cases. The facts in this case are that an impeachment articles of impeachment was referred to this Senate by the House. 188 members of the House filed that articles of impeachment to this House. And the named complainants in that impeachment case are Representatives Neil C. Tupas Jr., Joseph Emilio A. Abaya, Lorenzo R. Tejada III, Reynaldo V. Umali, and Arlene J. Bagao. When this Senate, sitting as an impeachment court, received the articles of impeachment, it issued the proper processes to notify and inform the respondent of the existence of these articles of impeachment against him, and requested or ordered the respondent to file his answer within 10 days, which the respondent Chief Justice did. And a reply was equally filed by the prosecution with respect to the answer filed by the respondent Chief Justice. so that at least this court has followed the principle